folks, Jason again from Blue Label Bastard Wargaming. And I'm not sure if any of you might have seen the video that I just posted actually this morning. Ended up going out. But I talked a lot about how I've got a lot of outstanding projects out there and how that, if I don't make progress in this, I get a little itchy. So I thought it'd be time as a way to keep me motivated. You'll find that's a common theme on this channel, that I'm going to start posting videos and do some quick reviews, particularly on things that haven't been receiving a lot of coverage that I've found thus far on YouTube. And then kind of talk about my thoughts on the unit, my thoughts on the model, and my plans for them in my various armies. Excuse me. And the first one that I want to talk about actually is right here. It is, and this is the Throne of Taur'ruk book, for those of you that haven't seen it. So, extreme zoom. And one of the things that I got in the mail recently were it's a nice picture, but it's the Chaos Dwarf Bull Centaurs. I haven't done an overview of my army, but, and you've probably heard me say a number of times on, I don't think the Chaos Dwarves, the Forge World Chaos Dwarves, are overpowered as anywhere near as overpowered as people think they are, and I think the Kadai Destroyer plays an important role. I have tried to record that video 4 times now, and this camera has destroyed it every time or something has happened. But the bottom line, one of my biggest concerns about the army is it doesn't have a lot of downrange, quick-moving, doesn't have any chaff that's of any utility in my mind. I mean, there's good stuff, but it's in the rare category. It's okay. It's not great chaff. But it doesn't have a speedy downrange threat, with the exception of the Kadai and the Bull Centaurs. And so I wanted to give the Bull Centaurs a shot. I'm not sure if people can see. It also helps that they are one of the few models, or limited number of models, that GW Forge World has made for the Centaurs, or for the army. There's a bunch of stuff out there, particularly the Kadai Destroyer, that doesn't have models. There's other things that do have a reasonable amount of movement, the Kadai Fireborn, but I don't think they're that good. These guys, on the face of it, look a bit better. And I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me see if I can, look at that. And we'll turn this on. Apologies. Did that do anything? Apparently that's it. Okay, so quickly, initially I kind of dismissed these guys, but the more I kind of think at it, and I played around with them in Army Builder a little bit, they actually don't look too bad. So the average Bull Centaur render has movement of 7, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 2, strength 4, toughness 5, so it's kind of a reverse of the Warriors of Chaos Dragon Ogre. 3 wounds, initiative 3, 2 attacks, and leadership 8. Now, initially I was kind of not particularly impressed with that, because it's only 2 attacks plus the stomp, unless you want to give them an extra hand weapon. And I am reaching over here, should have been a little more prepared, with my Warriors Chaos book, and you can, apologies, you kind of can obviously look at these guys and compare them to Dragon Ogres, which are also in special. These guys are in special as well. They're pretty close to being identical. So Dragon Ogres are movement 7, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 2, strength 5, toughness 4. So they reverse the strength and the toughness. 4 wounds, initiative 2, 3 attacks, and leadership 8. These guys, so the Bull Centaurs have the same movement, weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength and toughness are reversed. The Centaurs have 1 less wound, better initiative, 1 less attack, but 1 better, or the same leadership. The difference is on a number of fronts. The Dragon Ogres are, the Bull Centaurs are 40 points each, whereas the Dragon Ogres are 60 points each. So they're cheaper. And I think they're also a bit more versatile. They both have fear. The The Bull Centaurs have something called Contempt, which means unless it's another model with a Contempt special rule, they don't cause panic checks. So if a bunch of hobgoblins die, it doesn't matter. They've also got, I think, a much better armor save. I haven't computed it, but if you you can give the sorry, I'm kind of rambling on this. Something's going on with my computer. The Bull Centaurs, if you give them a shield, they've got a 2-up armor save because they come with heavy armor and they come with scaly skin 5-up. And that with a shield gives them a cumulative 2-up. So that's pretty good. But you also have a number of options. The one thing that I don't like is, so they can come with hand weapons. For 5 points, they can take an extra hand weapon, give up the shield. You can give them a great weapon or a spear. So they have a fair number of options, but the strength 4 is really kind of limiting. I don't want to give them a great weapon. It's 10 points because their initiative is just high enough that they could go with humans. You still want them to have that... I don't necessarily like them going last, and it's nice having the lower armor save. But the good thing with this that you can't do with the Dragon Ogres is you can give them full command and give them a magic banner up to 50 points, which is pretty impressive for the point total. So what I had considered doing, I'll get to the models here in a minute, but running these guys with full command, and you can play around with this a number of different ways, but I had thought of giving them the hand weapons and the hand weapon and shield, full command, and then magic banner with the standard discipline. So they get +1 leadership. So they'd be leadership 9. And so that's what I would start with. But what I'm also going to try, and I'm going to show the model here, both sets of models in a bit, was also get a Bull Centaur Taur'ruk. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. So this is a hero model that can go with these guys. In order to take it, it can't be the Army's general, and you have to have a unit of Bull Centaurs, but this guy he's kind of a stud. So he is movement 7, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 2, strength 5, toughness 5. So he gets 1 extra weapon skill, 1 extra pip of strength. He's toughness 5, 4 wounds, so initial wound, 1 more initiative, so he's initiative 4, 4 attacks, so 2 more than the regular one, and 1 more than the champion, and he's leadership 9. The good thing with him, in addition to those stat lines, and he has contempt, they cause fear, scaly skin 5-up, is you have options. You can give him an extra hand weapon, a great weapon. You can give him black shard armor for 15 points, which bumps it from a 5-up heavy armor to 4-up armor with a 5-up ward save versus slamming attacks. And you can give him a shield, which that alone gives him a 1-up armor save with the cumulative 5-up scaly skin. But what's really nice about this is he can take up to 50 points of magic items himself. So I'm not going to go through all the options with this, but the reason I thought about with these guys is taking the standard discipline is you can give the hero the crown of command. And so you would have, they wouldn't benefit from the general's presence, but the general in the Chaos Dwarf form, he's probably going to be plodding along here rather slowly. So you could send these guys out and forward. I mean, they're movement 7 and they're not barded, so they get 14 inches of movement. And maybe throw these guys into a flank somewhere. And so they're going to be leadership 10 because of the 1 extra bonus and stubborn. If you can keep the Taur'ruk alive, and he has a reasonable amount of damage output. So just, spitballing this, and there's probably, people can think of better combinations than this, but for a total of 400 points, you could have a unit of 4 Bull Centaurs, or 3 Bull Centaurs, full command. I'm not sure that that's really for the magic banner. I don't know that the musician's really worth it because these guys shouldn't be fleeing that often, but I just wanted to put it in there. I just left them with hand weapon and shield, gave them the standard of discipline, and then took the hero character with the sword of striking, so he's +1 to hit, and then the crown of command maxed out his 50-point magical item option. So the The hero has a 1-up armor save. The other guys have 2-up armor saves. They're toughness 5, so they're pretty tough to wound. That would be a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 attacks. Odds are against humans, the guy's going to be hitting on 3s, so with a +1 in close combat for 2s. And so these guys could go out there and just hit a unit and pin it because, yeah, you're not going to send it necessarily into front of a giant horde because you're going to lose on combat resolution, but even if you do, you're going to be stubborn on a 10. So as long as you can keep the hero alive, that's pretty good. So this is kind of what I'm looking at doing, and I apologize if you've just been looking at the screen. So I think it's a pretty good unit. I think it's a lot better than the Dragon Ogre unit, but we're going to see. But now let's move beyond the book itself, and let's take a look at some of the models. And as I said, I got both of these in the mail fairly recently, and we're going to take a look at the Taur'ruk, the hero model first. And the other models I haven't gone through. This one I did open up and play around with a little bit because, frankly, I've been a little disappointed in the. I'm going to switch this over to better resolution. I got another model in the mail I was a little disappointed in, 40K model. So I did take a little bit closer look at this guy, and this one's actually not too bad. So we'll put this aside. And I haven't seen too many reviews, that's the only reason I'm doing this, of Chaos Dwarf models. So I looked at most of the pieces, I cleaned off some of the big chunks of resin here. But let's take a look at some of the details on this. It's pretty nice. You can see here you've got a nice inlay of, and you can see here, I think this is supposed to be brass, but you've got actual, on the armor pieces, Bull Centaurs, looks like running down their enemies, and that's not really as close as I can get. I need to remember to look at the camera, so I'm sorry if that blurred up too much. So a lot of pretty good detail on this. You can see there's a pretty wicked mold line right here. So this is the front part, and you've kind of got the back part, and I started to kind of trim these a little bit. And they go together reasonably well. See, it's not too bad, and I think once you fill that in, you get some paint in there, it'll be okay, although I think some liquid green stuff is going to be called for. So here's the back half, and you see you've got some nice nice heads hanging here. Not a lot of mold lines on this. The mold must be still be in pretty good shape. I haven't cleaned some of this stuff up yet. So there's the front and the back, front and the butt, and then here's the body that goes on top of. How does this match up? So it kind of goes on like that. Let's look at some of the details on this. This is actually pretty good. Nice, nice beard. And I don't see any obvious bubbles, just got a little bit of flash here to take off. Nice musculature. And so this is really good. There's some mold lines in here, but that's easy to take off. So we'll put that over here. And then you have his giant great weapon, it looks like. And I don't know why we want to give this guy a great weapon. He'd be strength 7, but you're giving up initiative 4 to do so. I don't think it's a good idea. As with most things that come out from Forge World, this one's got a pretty wicked bow in it, which I will straighten out. And kind of what this looks like, I believe, is this kind of goes across his back. He carries it like that. And what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to put these guys all together and show them to you in the second part of this video. But the axe has some pretty cool detail on it. There's just his hand. And some good detail on the hand. You can see rings on there and things. So that's pretty nice. So that's a good piece. And then here you've got some armor plates that go on the side. Those are pretty self-explanatory. No surprises there. And then here's his head. And I didn't take this off, but it is a really nice... It's really nice. I don't know if you can see some of the detail in here. How close is my camera going to let me get? But it is nice. It's really good. The picture in the book has these guys kind of looking like jokers. This makes them look really tough. And then, of course, you've got the extra pieces, horns that you put on the body and things. So we did those, and then more just, oops, pieces of armor and things you'll attach to various points. This did not come with directions, which always irritates me. But and then the last thing you get is the tail, important, a hand that's pointing out kind of straight ahead, and then a piece that goes on the regular Monsters Cavalry base. It's a little piece of terrain. So on the whole, I think those are really, it's a nice model. It goes together pretty well. There's a couple of gaps that you might have to fill in, but from right out what I saw, no problems, no bubbles, no cracks that weren't too bad in comparison with some other Forge World kits. Like when I got in the mail, those were in pretty bad shape. And this one I haven't gone through yet. I'm going to go through it quickly and then throw these guys together and build it. But this is the bigger bag that you get with the you can get 3 Chaos Dwarf Bull Centaurs from Forge World. So let's just kind of dump these guys out. I hope if I zoomed out, it might. There we go. So there's kind of got a bunch of pieces in here, and I haven't pulled any of these guys off the sprue. So let's just kind of spread this stuff out a little bit. So 3 bases, we'll set those aside. And let's just start randomly picking up pieces. So this is one of the ones, this is one of the front parts of one of the centaurs. And you can see there some really nice relief on the armor. And you can see how they're kind of keyed together. They've got to make sure they line up right. I mean, look at that, kind of that detail on the armor. It's really nice. I don't see a whole lot of tremendous mold lines. I think it's going to be a problem on this, so we'll set that one aside. And here's, again, great detail on the musculature. The posing can be a little goofy if you look at the pictures on the Forge World website. I'm not going to post any pictures here. You kind of love it or you hate it, but the poses are, if nothing, they're very dynamic. So that's actually really nice. Let's pick another one. So it looks like they've keyed the rear hoof on this one, so we'll have to find that. Again, not much in the way of mold lines, or a lot of warping from what I can tell so far. Again, I haven't cleaned any of these guys up really yet. Excuse me. And then here is another nice piece of relief on the I don't even know what part of the armor you'd call that, but it looks like you've got a burning temple on this side. Do you have anything different on the other side? Yep, you've got a relief of a bull centaur here with slaves in front of it. Again, really nice details on this. Keep it in the frame, Jason, so people can see it. Kind of more of the same. Again, I don't see any miscasts or bubbles or anything like that. Here's another torso, bit of a mold line, but that'll come right off there. Yeah, the armor is just incredible, incredibly well detailed. Outstanding sculpts. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit because you guys don't need to necessarily see everyone. But another one looks great. This didn't come with directions either. They are numbered. I'm not sure if you can download it on the Forge World website, but I'm just going to go through on the webpage and look at the pictures and build them accordingly. Here's this one has a nice picture of, what's the Baal Taurus landing on, or getting ready to attack some poor, I don't know, soon-to-be victims or slaves, and then another nice relief of Bull Centaur on the armor. So they really took some time on these. I hope they are as good on the battlefield because they're going to look like to be a whole lot of fun to paint. Let's move on. So here, oh, look at that face. That is awesome. I'm not sure. So this is the face of one of them. I don't know how well it's showing up. Let's see if I can adjust my light over here some. That's better. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's an awesome face there. And there's the back of the shield. Oops. And you've got the front of the shield. So it'll be like this. You've got a nice thunderbolt on it. I don't think it's warped. I think it's just actually a bowed shield. So all of these guys are equipped. That's just an extra one, fell off. with hand weapons and shield, which I think is a pretty defensive kit. Here's just a bunch of those extra hooves that you saw. I don't think you really need to care about those too much. So they're all, and they don't give you the options for full command. So I might have to just whip something up or use it as it counts as. And again, now that I've turned the light on better, you can probably see better. Some of the detail on this armor is just awesome. It's a little daunting to paint. So here's just another torso to put together. And here's a close-up of their hand weapon, which is a little bowed, not too bad. And then another shield option. Very nice, with some, of course, some heads hanging off the back. There's some of those. Another axe. I don't think you guys really need to care too much about those. Here's another face. Again, look at the detail on this. It's just awesome. Nice long beard. These guys look pissed off the way they should. Tail. Super important, I know. Tail. And then another face. This guy's got a good scream, roar going on. Got some nice beard. And then just some other pieces here. Another axe, another horn, axes and horns, axes and horns. So all in all, my initial impressions of these guys is this is an awesome, awesome stuff from Forge World as usual, without kind of some of the obvious problems that I've seen from them before, and I'll cover on my 40K purchase that I just recently made for them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause. I'm going to put these guys together. Hopefully it won't take me too long, and let you guys take a look at the models, and I'll give you my last minute thoughts. So, be right back. Hey there, folks. Okay, took me about, 45 minutes to an hour to clean up the models and assemble them. They went together fairly well, and I'll do a kind of a back up or a far away shot, then I'll come into some of the details here. So, this is how they're going to line up, I think. Bottom line, get this in the camera footage, or get the camera. These are outstanding models from a design and a kind of aesthetic perspective. They look great. They all went together relatively painlessly. Not much in the way of mold lines, kind of a really creative build. I'm just blown away by the details on some of these models. And I'll start picking up some of them here. But one of the things I did want to show was kind of how they rank up. And I'm going to see if I can lower the camera. So I apologize for the shaking here. But let's see if I can lower this. Down, and we'll pick this up a little bit. So give you a sense of how these guys look, or will look on the tabletop. I should have thought of this beforehand. So they do look, if I break my tripod here. All right, let's start from here. Okay, we'll just pin these guys up. So they rank up pretty well, and I think they look pretty darn impressive. One of my only complaints, though, from an aesthetically, when they rank up here, so this 1, 2, and over here, 3 are the regular Bull Centaurs, and then this is the Taur'ruk Hero Kit. And you can see here that the 3 regular Bull Centaurs have quite a bit of, you can see they're in motion a lot. Whereas this guy, he's got his foot on top of a rock, or his hoof on top of a rock, and he's kind of directing these guys forward. So I guess you could imagine this guy's kind of hanging back and will catch up immediately and sends the other ones in. But I would like to see a little bit more motion out of this guy. But that's a minor quibble. I like how they do rank up. I mean, there's a couple tight spots here between these two, but you always have to kind of consider this, especially with models like this with so much dynamism in their posing, making sure they rank up in the movement trays. So I'm going to go ahead and pull back out here a little bit. Again, I apologize for the shaky camera. I just want to lift this up a little bit. 1, 2. Oops, not that one. This one. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. And then let's take a look at some of the individual models here. So I'm going to switch this over. All right, sorry about that. Apparently I decided to hit the power button instead of the macro button. So sorry for the quick break. So let's take a look at these models really quick. So this is the hero model, and let's see how close I can get. But went together really well, and just an incredible amount of detail. I guess one of my other kind of minor quibbles is it seems like the arms are very short. Like they're clearly muscular, but they look to be a little bit, I don't say Tyrannosaurus Rex-ish, but not super long enough. Or maybe not quite long enough. But anyways, it's proportional with the model. It just looks kind of chunky. But there's definitely the sense of muscularity. Like if this guy gets up in your face, it's not going to probably go well. And just an incredible amount of detail on the face. I don't know if you can see that there. And the horns, and again, I love the armor details here where they've got like a little mural on the sides with these guys. So they got 2 Bull Centaurs, looks like chucking a bunch of slaves into the fire. And then on this side, you've just got a bunch of Bull Centaurs with people down on their knees bowing before them. That's awesome. You've got the obligatory skulls. But great muscularity in the back, and then the great weapon, kind of how it's posed. You know, he looks like he's sending other people, other centaurs forward to be followed shortly by him. He's just gonna go in and wreck some face. So great amount of detail, outstanding model. And then they've got him kind of positioned here on top of a piece of stone with, of course, there has to be a skull because this is Warhammer after all. So let's go on to one of the regular ones. Now, these guys essentially are all the same. They're not really... They could be modeled as, you know, regular soldiers. There's not one that's obviously a champion or anything. And like I said before, there's no options for a command squad. So let's look at this one first. Again, really dynamic posing. You know, he's charging forward, getting ready to, you know, lop somebody's head off. The shields are a little smaller, which could be a hair bit bigger, but still pretty nice. And oh, there's some flash I forgot to get off. I haven't watched these yet either. I just want to get them assembled for this video. But the one thing I was a little nervous about is how there's only 2 points on this model that attach to the base. But with the super glue and the resin, it just set up super quickly, and I think it'll be okay. I'm just not sure how the transport will go, or I'll just keep some super glue with me. So again, you can see here, I hope, some of the incredible detail. The face is awesome. This one just has a burning temple on this side. And then on this side, I guess you can't see it behind the shield. It's kind of a pain to paint. But there's a mural there. So, and then the axe, obviously, is getting ready to, you know, swing by and behead somebody. So, again, just a great looking model. I also really liked how on this, because the 2 halves meet here, but how they set up the harnessing. So you've got the tail here, and you've got pieces coming together, and there's a ring in the middle. This one, it kind of fell apart. It separated a little bit. Maybe got chewed up when I cut it off. So it doesn't meet together that well, but I think with paint, and I might put a little bit of green stuff on there, I think it'll be okay. So again, cool looking model. That's the first regular guy. And then let's look at this one. Oops, sorry about that. And this one I think is probably my least favorite pose because again, his arm just looks so short. The arm with the axe here. He's kind of leaning forward. You know, I'm not sure what he's going to get ready to do here. But this pose seemed kind of the most forced or the most awkward. But again, here's the close-up of the Bale Taurus on his front flank here. I get a little bit of a line where the hoof attached, and here's another one where you've got 2 points of attachment on the base. So maybe he's getting ready to drop his shoulder into somebody, but I guess this one is my least favorite. I do like how he's kind of tilting. They're not all vertical. The horse part of him it looks really good. So again, another example of, I mean, look at the detail on the beard here, and on the armor plates. Be kind of a paint, and if I would have taken a little bit more forethought into this, I would have perhaps not glued the head on. But I'm not going to spend a tremendous amount of time on these. They're going to be centerpiece models. They're going to be nicely painted, but there's just so much detail. It could take you forever to paint these up. And again, there's the kind of the harness that I'm talking about. It's those kind of details like you won't find on regular models that just look really good here. So here's the second one. And here's the third one. And I really like this guy. You know, he's just charging forward, screaming defiance at his enemies. He's going to get up here and you know, kick ass and take names. So just the wide posing, and then the incredible face. So these are some of my favorite models by Forge World. Probably my favorite models with the exception of some of the hero characters, Lord characters, probably the best models that they've put out, I think, for the Chaos Dwarf line. Again, really nice axe. They've done an awesome job on the face, and then you've got some nice detail on the armor here. Again, not a lot of mold lines. This one's, I guess it's kind of weird. It's, let me see if I can hold this a little better. How it's kind of leaping. Maybe it's kind of have just jumped down, like front landing on something, but I mean, that's just an awesome sculpt. So, let me see if I can rank these guys back up the way I wanted to. Put them back on the, line these guys up. So I think I had this guy, and then this guy. And we're going to try this one. And then this one. Or, you know. Nope, that one's going to be on the outside because it sticks his axe way out. So, there we go, folks. Hope you appreciated this, or hope you get something out of this video. I guess maybe a macro is going to be better here. All in all, sculpt-wise, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's not quite perfect, but some of the best stuff I've seen from Forge World. I think they're going to be okay on the table. I may have a game coming up on Friday, and I might just take the Chaos Dwarfs just to see how these guys play. But by the way they look in the books, I mean, they're 400 points here, so a hero and 3 characters with full command. I think on paper they should do okay, but we'll see. But again, they give the Chaos Dwarfs, I think, a bit of downfield mobility. And then if you want to play hijinks with, I mean, you can give them a stubborn leadership 10. That's pretty awesome. So, and you have a lot of flexibility with magic items. So, I'm going to withhold judgment on how they play in the game, but they're going to get painted up and displayed because they are just some incredible sculpts. So, kudos to Forge World. Shocker, you know, they make good models. But so I hope you guys got a little something out of this. And as always, I welcome your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, and look forward to hearing from you. So I'm going to stop this now. So happy wargaming.